Is that okay? So let's tune in and begin. Oh, heart breath. Continue. Okay, so now Baba Siri Chand is, he told me that this is a little bit different than we usually do. So he said to understand about last week's session and what he said, what is the most important thing that you learned about or wanted to understand about that for now? Okay, do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is about for 1 minute for minute for meditation. Listen that from you, from Baba Siri Chand. What was that idea or situation? Got it? Okay, go ahead. And inhale and exhale. Okay, now, okay, so how about Gian Das Prem?
Satnam.
This is just, you're not, okay, just getting the not the whole information right now, but this is just finding out what the question, or you understand that?
Mm. What I'm getting is the breathing through and the layers of breathing through. How are we to breathe through these layers of information and new air that are coming through that for our ability to be with this new energy coming in and the breathe, just to breathe and reminding to breathe and feel the pulse of our heartbeat from touching. Open heart will lead to the open hand, and that's sort of my question is in the answer, I think, for more to be shown though for that simplicity and the breathe. Mm-hmm. I
Okay,
do.
good. Okay, Ved, are you there?
Yeah, Satnam. For me, it was about feeling and listening with the whole body. So actually feeling, like softening enough and surrendering enough in my physical body with the breath that I can actually be vibrating, like with the new vibration that is here. I hope that makes sense. Like I'm allowing it to move me, and inside of that space, that is how I know that I'm safe, because it's this rhythm where I feel like I am relaxed within and my heart is soft. Um, and that links into like this bigger light grid where we're connected and linked and supported.
Okay, good. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Aagia Pal.
Well, I have a lot to say, but if we get a chance later, but the for trying to keep it to a minute. So
These are just the questions. You understand?
the most important thing that I gleaned from listening from last week and just listening now is that the Aquarian Age is requiring a a, a magnitude, a huge shift to the heart. And what and what Baba showed me was to take here, HEAR, and add a T to it, and then be okay. So I guess my minute's up, but anyway, it's the shift from intelligence of the mind, which we prize so much as society, to an intelligence of the heart, and it's a heart-based wisdom that he's started to talk to me about. And it is this heart-based wisdom that we will develop in the age of Aquarius. And so that's that. So, and then there's some other things that he sort of obliged me to share, and I could do that later. But
Okay,
that I think is the most important.
good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so now, Japa Saraswati.
For me, it was what I got was such a clear visual, because during our when you and I talked on the phone last week, Siri Gian. I
Yes.
told you that a particular person was being used like a spear or a sword or a weapon. And you said to me, yeah, but basically everything changes shape. And what I saw was the spear melting, the metal of the spear was melting and giving it the opportunity to reform. And what I said to you on the phone was like it was like a butterfly going through its chrysalis, you know, so on one end it's the caterpillar and on the other end it's done this alchemy to become a butterfly, and that is what all of us are doing, that all of these things from the Piscean that were sort of weaponized are now all in this melting pot and being stirred up and being reimagined for rebirth and reinvention.
Good deal.
That's what I saw. And I saw also that we have Set City with us. So can I explain to her really quickly what we just did?
Sure,
No,
thank you.
first of all, ask if she knew about last week. Did she
I
know?
sent her the text message, so I don't know if she got it. Did you get the text message, Set City?
I did not.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so last week we did a meditation, and I'll send you the link for
Sure.
last week's
Thank you.
meditation so that you
Thank
could re-listen to it. But Siri Gian, we had a phone call last week, and our cue for this week is basically what happens next. And she asked us to go back and re-listen to last week's meditation. And so the we just did 1 minute of heart breath to Baba with Baba to listen for what was kind of our big takeaway from that.
Okay.
Thank you so
And
much. Thank
because
you.
she didn't know from last week, I'm not sure that we can do that from her. So
Sure.
listen from everybody, okay? So, Siri, did you understand that?
Yes, that I should go back and listen. And
No,
that would be
no, I think you should listen to everybody. Do you
today.
under from everybody?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. So now each of you listen to Baba Siri Chand for your own question or information. Do you understand? Okay. So please understand that for uh how do you say, uh had bring your information very brought together, not lots of things, but just understand to bring it together from Baba Siri Chand. You understand that? Okay. So here we go. Here's Guru Das Prem. And let's see, say your question again. Oh, no. Yeah, no. You understand what it is, and then we'll give that 3 minutes meditation. Okay? Begin. Inhale. Then exhale. And breathe. Okay. So now I got the word better. It's called concise. Okay. Listen that. Oh, listen that from Baba Siri Chand, and tell again what your question was, and then hear about Baba Siri Chand or his answer. Go ahead. Gian Das Prem. What's uh-huh. Did you understand that?
I do.
Okay. And what's your question?
My question was about the challenges of the breathing
Mm-hmm.
and the from the different air that I am experiencing or seem to be experiencing in these different realms, or the heavy metal in the air, and how am I to come about this challenge that's being presented, and the correlation to that question. Why am I asking that question? And it's just going back to the previous building on coming together with, you know, the understanding of the air and what's in there and that there part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what he's doing is just erasing everything and then sort of showing me the light, like how the light travels, you know, how it goes quickly, and how we how we see it, and that the light and the air and the vibration is what's to follow in that breath, like focusing back on that breath. And where I have the ability to go to a higher altitude to continue to up climb the stairs, and take my time climbing the stairs, and pausing to notice where the difficulty in my body is coming from, that breathing. And I'm noticing a lot of it is up in the upper heart, or a little bit higher up in the solar plexus. And I don't know if it's salt or whatever it is, but just coming back into that water, you know, I'm seeing just an image of the water showing as a mirror, and then how it moves, and our input into the water in the air, and that vibration that we're sending out, and that we're undulating within the heart for that, you know, for that discomfort to come, because I'm being shown now that it's in the gut, and that the mucus is the key to that, you know, breathing through the nose and having the ability to bring up our mucus, rather than vomiting. So he's showing me these just plants now, of how the plant correlation comes into, you know, how we come freely from the ground, and the atmosphere is providing us with the particles and whatever we're moving with, and then to just go back into that soft, strong thing, you know, for the reminder of the self, of the ego going away, and the heart energy coming in, so that we can sort of break through that. And I can feel the mucus coming up now, because, and you know, it seems as if I can't chant enough sometimes for that coming up of that. And the Sat Siri, Siri Akal, Maha Akal, right? Satanam Akal Amudit Waheguru. just moving through those, even humming, if we can find some simplicity in that humming and that, bringing up of that mucus and that, because when we vomit, it brings up a lot of those negative metals, and however you want to take my explanation, we don't want to come to that point. We can feel through the discomfort that we have in our body, and with that softness of noticing, we can sort of send that strength, because our body, this inner technology of coming into that yoga, into that, that yoke of that being of mostly water, but yet there are other things in there that allow these discomforts to come and go and move around in our body, even with this practice of daily practice of moving the body. We will still see some discomforts, but then that'll allow us to have the comfort of, and slipping into that place that we've been to before, of a miracle, or a dream that's so real, and that can be our, like, jumping into that spaceship and riding on the light. That we all have that ability, that travel ability, to come back to where we were there and now. And with that Waheguru, it's, that ultimate creation of this energy, seeing that flower come up out of the ground for free, right? And supplying with it all that is known and needed in life. And there's so many different types of flowers that will do that, and they'll just come out of the ground. A tree will come out of a rock and the high place. So if we can move through those high places and those low places, then we will be able to breathe through that, coming into the heart center, and, realizing that travel ability within ourselves of that universal cosmic combination that allows us, to speak here, and that communication of that energy is the ultimate love of that sharing and the acceptance of the other, and however their light is coming with us in that form of communication, for us to reach into that vibration, because there is love in that vibration. However it seems to be coming back to me, I can have a way of, within the mantra of the heartbeat, within that natural feeling of the flow that's being allowed within this body, to share with others that may be having some difficulty, in that discomfort. And with our abilities to share, I think we can just come back to that, and that caring of being there for that now type of place, where it's okay how you're coming at me, and that's who we are, in a sense of that sharing, however that may be. But there's billions of us here now, surrounded by, just the countless numbers, and that we can kind of wipe that away, back to that cycle, right, of that Satanam and Waheguru, of that,
Okay.
the life. Yeah.
Gian Das Prem, I want to
Yes.
ask you something. You were talking about the altitude. Are you talking about mountain, or you're talking about higher place in your body? What are you talking about?
There's a correlation there with the question and the answer, as far as what the body does and the undulations, and our abilities to adapt to our surroundings, and to come to a place of understanding and comfort. And yes, the levels of that height, where the air changes and the breath becomes more challenged, is also a way of the mind becoming more challenged. And when we can reach that soft spot, right, of noticing, then that's when these other areas can open up for us to be able to see that. So, higher, and then when we become outside of the earth realm, then that is another place where, but that aura that we all have is within us, right? We all have this aura that we can expand to, and imagine ourselves inside of a bubble that we're sort of protected. And then, that bubble can become ever so smaller, where we have that ability to ride on the dust, to be with the dust, because the dust here ultimately holds everything. Like, right, when our skin sheds in the room, and that creates dust here, and then that's our DNA being left here, right? So it's all here, and we're shedding where we go, and everyone is shedded here. And then So now we're here to, coming together with all that alchemy, and being able to, because this is where our universes will meet again at some time. And we're in this special place right now where we're here to being for that learning experience, for that softening with our strengths, in order to have that ability of slipping onto that dust and just, here we go. And then we go, right? Because we came into this bubble from somewhere else. So we will release ourselves from this bubble eventually. And the learning that we're here to do is like right over at the flower. How does the flower communicate and use its energy? Did it as natural, so that seed, the natural invention, not the other inventions. Okay. Because that simplicity it's returning to me, and it's still my ego saying that. So in a sense, I think, but yeah, there is a voice from the flower, and I hear it and I love it, and I think that it has all the sensibility that we need to go along with. Yeah. But moving beyond that too, right? That's how the flower grows, is for us to know in a way of softening and strengthening and letting go of that ego, because we are going to reach that point where it all gets taken away, right? Where we are outside the bubble and we can hear all of it and just notice, why, Guru?
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Why, Guru? Thank you.
Oh, now we see City. We see your photo, your pretty photo, but we want to just put your name. Okay. Okay, good. Because it's too
I
distracting.
got you set, City. I can do it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so now what about Dade? What was your question first?
Yeah, I thought we were asking what was the most important thing from last week. Is that right?
Yeah.
And so what Baba was showing me is that when we soften the heart spirals open and creates this sort of like a vortex. And it connects with the heart of Mother Earth, the heart of the universe. And it's this spiral that we choose to open into. And in this spiral, it is breath, it is motion, it is light, and that's the communication is from the heart through being inside of, I guess, being inside of our body, our breath, our energy, and connected to Mother Earth in the heart of the universe. When we soften open, this spiral is created.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else?
The other image that I was shown is like how a flower sends out a light pattern to communicate to the bees that it's ready to be pollinated. That's sort of what, when we allow this spiral to happen, that's the communication is through this frequency of light that we send out. And that's how the communication happens to the animals, to the plants, to other people, is sending out that unique pattern of light and listening and feeling, other patterns of light.
Okay. So, for you, didn't see that, but several months ago, maybe a year ago, we were talking, I mean, I had heard about the, quote, the event. So, Ved,
Yeah.
can you listen to Baba Siri Chand about that, what you were talking about with Baba Siri Chand? Is that the happening? No, the event.
The event, I'm not super clear.
Just listen to.
Okay. I just heard yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. That also seemed to be also from Gian Das Prem. It seemed to be for the event. Gian Das Prem, did you say that from Baba Siri Chand for the event?
Well, about the upcoming, the humanity changes and learns something new every so often, right? Like this discovery outside of our world that's part of our world, of the creation that we're allowed to share here, with the free traveling and knowing that this consciousness doesn't come just from here, that it's within the universe that allows the continuous life expansion and everything else to happen, that there are other travelers that can go outside of their world the same as we can, but they have been doing it for longer, and that they were here at one point, they used the place for meetings and for games and for stuff like that. So now they're starting to return to have more meetings and whatnot, and they're noticing, here we are. So as part of what we're doing and what they're doing together, we're going to find out something together.
Okay.
That we're learning, right? So however that event happens from the inside of each person, that changes. My example is going back to how we used to eat raw meat, and then we found a way to cook it, and the DNA inside of our body changed. And the next thing coming could be in the mind.
No, wait. Are you talking about our brothers, our universal brothers?
Yes, where life, originates from and inhabits itself in different areas of the cosmos and our universe. Within this universe, that there are beings that are able to move around with other vehicles that are, part of what we're all made of, right? These substances and everything else that we move with. So
Okay, good.
this is where the technology is. Absolutely, yes.
Got it. Thank you so
Because
much.
we have this technology inside of us, right? That heartbeat. So back to the why.
Good.
Yeah, why not, right?
Okay. So now, Aagia Pal, what was your question for?
Oh, yeah. So I asked, what's next? And what Baba showed me was, and I'm so happy to share this because he really wanted me to. In my heart, there was like there was an iron door, like in a dungeon, that when I said, "What's next?" it started creaking open, and what was coming out was this dark sludge, bleh, terrible stuff. And he told me, he said, let that come out, let it come out, let it come out. And then eventually, maybe after an hour or so, I could see sparkling white water coming out. And at that point, again, this is all about the heart. And I asked him, okay, so what's next? What's happening here? Like, what's happening with the heart and with my heart and so on? And what he so there was actually three things he mentioned. One is that the event is an ongoing evolution of transformation from a space of intellectual, logical thinking to the knowing of the heart. And as my heart cleansed, that it was really the event was a cleansing of my heart. He said that and because I was asking all these questions, and then I heard Blaise Pascal's, famous philosopher says, the heart has reasons that reason knows not. And then he said to me from the Siri Guru Granth Sahib, remember, he who thinks he knows not. He or they who know, or they who don't know. So the space of the heart is the space of when I agree to this knowing, which is a not intellectual knowing. We've come to the limits, I think, of really that. And then he shared with me that, which was really cool, and it sort of comes from, it's similar to what people were talking about. He says that the heart, we have a physical channel in our heart. Now, this is just what I heard. I have no idea where it is, what it is, but we have a physical channel, and we have an etheric channel, heart channel. And these etheric heart channels, from everyone and from all living things, intricately intertwine and interweave into this web of heart channels. And when he said, but we haven't really used it, so we need to. They're not atrophied, but they're waiting to be developed, so that when I send love through the channel in my physical heart, and then out through my etheric heart, opening up the channel, and some of that love, of course, is staying within the channel, my own channel, but I'm also intending it to go to other people who are suffering, and sometimes just an individual. But he said, when you do that, because these etheric love channels are just a web, the love is intelligent. And so when you send love to someone intending, it may also go, some of this love, again, it's not quantifiable, go to someone else that you have no idea who it is, but someone who maybe is on their knees saying, given the gift of desperation and saying, God, help me, please help me. It may go to that. It may go to that person. But the key is that we all we all begin to develop these channels. And we all use these channels. And then the more we use them in this event, moving into the Aquarian age, the more we evolve into, creatures of love. And so this love light that goes right through the web, there's no limit on that. So that's, yeah. And that's basically it. And so the idea of whenever I think of someone, I send this love through, and intending through this channel my own physical, whatever it is, channel, and then through the etheric counterpart, shall I say, and letting it go to whomever I intend, and then whomever, wherever love and guru thinks that that love light should go. And it kind of just blew my mind to sit there and listen to him saying that. And so it's like a discovery. It's something that I really was never really aware of. And the key is to keep using it, because keep sending this love on these in these etheric channels, and and you know, and then that is going to well, he didn't really say what it's going to culminate in. I never mind. So that's what I would think. But anyway, that's what I have to share.
Wonderful. It sounds to get now to begin heart breath. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Even when you're like angry with someone, or you know, you're really rah, rah, you do the heart. You start with heart breath, and then it's going to transform. Obviously, it will transform us into loving beings, and it will also initiate the transformation for others. I know.
So you're talking about everyone's healing. Is that right?
Well, yeah, I mean, right. Yep. Healing meaning, yeah, becoming whole. And, yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Wonderful. Lovely.
It's been quite a week.
Isn't this interesting that each one would basically say something very similar?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, Japa Saraswati. So what is your, oh, you were talking about the chrysalis from
Yeah. So
Aquarian.
So thank you, Aagia Pal, because that was an incredibly powerful message. So I saw this person melting from a weapon into really a melting pot. I felt that it was very egalitarian, because this person was somebody who was really like at the top of the pyramid, and so didn't experience a lot of marginal conditions, you know, and now I feel them being in that melted space of being sharing the energy in a pool with everybody else, and feeling that. So then what I asked Baba is what happens next, and I saw that thing that was once a weapon becoming reformed into a big metal bowl. And the first thing I thought was like it was like a begging bowl or a singing bowl or a crystal bowl, like a musical instrument bowl, and that there were so many blessings of abundance that it could now be filled with. So I asked Baba what happens next, and I saw like somebody strike the bowl and make the vibration, make the sound current, the vibration. And what I felt was this deep interconnectedness. So I wrote this down because this is a big message here. So I felt this deep interconnectedness among the whole human race, and that what I felt was that that was the purpose of COVID, was that we got sick, the whole entire planet. This was a zoonotic disease, so it switched from animals to humans to, and even all of the plants on the earth were affected by it. And it interconnected us, like we think, oh, just as a human species, not just as a human species, but as all of the plants and animals and living beings on this earth. And it changed our DNA. Um, and in changing our DNA, it was preparing us for this Aquarian consciousness, this consciousness in the great melting pot. It also gave us a chance for rest, that COVID time was a time for rest, because now the pace is really accelerating and it's going to get very, very busy. And what Baba, specifically what I saw for me, was that I'm an old soul and that I have very old ways, and that I can't be addicted to them, that I can't be stuck to those old ways, because the old ways are the past, they're dying. And I have an old growth tree on the edge of my land that is it's massive and it's in danger of falling, and I'm working on I feel this tree, I don't want to cut it because it's probably 500 years old, and we're not going to get more 500-year-old trees just coming up. So anyway, but what I felt was that the COVID time was this time for rest and preparing us, but also connecting us physically, that the germs that spread through all of our planet connect us physically, and that this is part of connecting us mentally. So the upcoming of very instant communication and a lot more psychic communication and communication between the species. So like people are reporting having different animal experiences, like the wild animals are coming to talk to them, and people are associating more with animals, and that's part of all of this, that like we thought we were above the deer on the pyramid, and now, as the consciousness is melting, we have the same thing as deer consciousness.
You have deer?
And
Did you say
I did say deer, yes.
Say it again. The word.
Deer,
Say the
like
word.
DEER, like a reindeer, but like it's just one animal that I saw. But people have been, I've been thinking and talking a lot about deer lately, and how people are having more experiences with the animals, like that deer have been becoming much more domesticated, that they go up to people in their yard in the way that they never did before, and that people are having increasing interactions with formerly very wild animals, and it's just part of our consciousness changing. um, and and that this is preparing us for communication with intergalactic beings, that the COVID was adjusting our DNA and sort of coalescing and congealing us as a human species to be this sort of super big intelligence. Like our group intelligence just grew by leaps and bounds when we were able to spread our DNA and share our DNA with all of the other beings on the planet. Now, intergalactic beings, by which I mean entities like Baba Siri Chand, who are super conscious, and also entities like, so here's where the story is going next is that I said to Baba, where are we going from here? And he basically said to me, like, wait, my child, and you will see. And he said, you know, there's like things that you can't even imagine, things that we don't even have, that you don't even have the vocabulary for yet. And that's why I can't be addicted to the old ways. I have to be ever learning the new ways, because that rigidity is not going to serve me. And like what I saw with the tree, with the rigidity, was last solstice, we had a tremendous storm that was a windstorm, and all of the trees that were hollow or weak, they when they would start to bend, the healthy trees can bend and sway, but the trees that were inflexible were the ones that broke down, and a lot of those were the oldest ones, which is sad. But anyway, so I said to Baba, where are we going from here? Um and I said, you know, like, I'm kind of nervous. And what I saw was, I have to tell you guys this story from the Ramayana, because that's where this is going. It's a really wonderful story from the Ramayana, and it's about Hanuman and, well, and Sita and Ram. So Sita and Ram are like, they're super idealized. Like, all the little boys are told you want to be like Ram when you grow up, and all the little girls are told you want to be like Sita when you grow up. And they are just madly in love with each other, but they're also like, they're superhuman and they're wonderful. And anyway, Ravana is the bad guy. He's from like Lanka, where he's the king of the demons. And he basically wants to make them unhappy, and so he makes this plan to kidnap Sita. And so he pretends to be a holy man, and he gets her to go outside of this protected ring in the forest, and he lures her out, and and he kidnaps her. And Ram finds out about it, and he sends his best buddy Hanuman to go running after Sita, to go chase Sita and find her. So Sita is, when she left, she was wearing a lot of jewelry, and she would drop pieces of jewelry at strategic places so that Hanuman could follow her trail to get to her, to find her. And so Ravana's like, running, the demons have kidnapped her, and they're running, and she keeps dropping the jewelry, and they get to the edge of the terrifying world ocean, which is where I see us now, at this leap of the great precipice. And Sita drops like this very special ring, and um and um and anyway, she gets kidnapped across, and Hanuman finds the ring, and he leaps across the ocean with this tremendous leap of faith. And he leaps across the ocean in one bound, and he gets to the other side, and basically finds he finds Sita, and he's able to rescue her. So one of the messages that I'm getting is about the Hanuman Chalisa. Is it's one of the most wonderful and famous Hindu chants, and it's all about chanting the praises of Hanuman, because he is basically what carries us across when we're doing that really scary leap of faith. And I'll send you guys all a link to listen to it. And anyway, so Sita, Hanuman brings Ram to her, and they are going back to their homeland, basically. And all of the people light the way for them with divas, which are little lanterns or little candles. And that's where the holiday of Diwali comes in. So Diwali starts in like a week and a half. This is Diwali season. And what my message from here is about us being light workers, that we are these little lanterns and candles, and that we are lighting the way for the homecoming for our entire, like, for our entire consciousness, for our entire species. And that it's about us kindling that flame within ourselves, and not exactly that we're trying to do it to be the good example, but that like we have to keep the light kindled within ourselves, and then that light will literally light the way to carry others home. That
Wow.
was my big message.
Well, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Isn't this amazing that each one have found from Baba Siri Chand different ways to put together to go from the dark and totally change and remake the whole consciousness of Earth. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I add something? May I quickly?
Quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just had a black bear come to the front door, and speaking of animals, and
Mhm.
I said, Mama, go. And she obviously must have been hungry, so I wanted to share that. But also what I heard from Baba Siri Chand was our DNA has been epigenetically transformed, and the methyl groups that are sitting on the top of these DNA are changing constantly. They change genes. They can turn the gene off, or they can deactivate it. So that's what I wanted to also add, because I also heard that.
That means change your DNA.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Yes, they sit on top. The methyl group sits on top of, the DNA, the chromosome, and it, depending on the design of the methyl group, it can either activate genes or deactivate genes. And like ancestral stuff is epigenetic. So, and that can be changed. And that's what I think Japa Saraswati was talking about, was that these methyl groups are changing, they are evolving, and so they are they're activating and deactivating absolutely our genes.
Wow. Okay. This is wonderful. Okay, so now this is going to take a little bit more minute for this. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because we may have a lot of blackness coming here. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And what is your special tool? Does everybody know what is your tool?
Yes.
What is it?
For me, I got the Hanuman Chalisa is one of the things that I can really lean into. Also Baba Siri Chand, of course.
No. What about love from each of you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Your tool. That's it. Right? And from Baba Siri Chand or soul or whatever you call that intelligence is driving us and knowing what's happening. Is that right?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Mahalo.
Okay. So now understand, we have the elections.
Mama, mommy, mama.
We have total blackness, right? And we all know about that. And you know what to do about your tool. And what is your tool?
Love.
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 I am love.
There you go. Can you imagine?
Mahalo. Mahalo.
There you go. What do you think about that? Is that true?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
And Siri Gian, is there time for me to go quickly?
Who said that?
Oh.
Sun City.
Oh, oh, Sun City, have you heard all this?
Yes, and I just would love to share really quickly because I had a very wild experience.
I
Over
want to
the-
hear.
Is it
Yeah,
okay?
go ahead.
Okay.
Shoot.
So I normally don't miss our meeting, but I had been watching, really trying to understand and feel what was going on in Gaza. And the sorrow was so
Mm.
great. It just, and it all really was very, just a very big grief experience. But then at the same time, two things were happening, and this is where the tools come in. I have a Vietnam vet boss who got hit, he always said, I was raised in a very loving home and taught never to hurt anyone or kill them, certainly. And he went to Vietnam and was right on the front lines and face to face with children, face to face with Vietnam soldiers, women. And he got really, 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 really messed up. And the guys got heavily involved in drugs. He became a terrible heroin addict and an alcoholic, came back, was self-destructing really fast. So for decades. And then when he finally got clean, he just followed his soul. And this is very strange. There's this beautiful piece of land in Holliston that's owned by Audubon. It's many, many, many acres. And it's got a very, very strong Native American vibe, the whole thing. It's like it was open ceremonial grounds or something. But anyway, he decided to have a dahlia farm there. So I work on this dahlia farm, which was not anything I ever expected to do. So two things are happening simultaneously. On the dahlia farm, we had acres of the most stunning, beautiful. I don't know if you guys, if you get a chance, go look at online and look at some pictures of dahlias. They're from the Inca in South America, and they used to roast them and eat them, but they developed also, they have flowers. So after the flowers bloom, the most stunning variety, unbelievable beauty. And so we had these acres and acres. It had been terrible weather. And then it was really good weather, just everything that could go wrong could go wrong. And I'm carrying around this enormous question about why are we why are we destroying each other in war? So anyway, two of my coworkers just disappeared because it's so much work. And I was left with the job over the weekend to cut these it's a bulb, and it grows into this huge bush with these, it's almost like the most colorful, beautiful thing you've ever seen, of all like every color in the spectrum, beautiful, beautiful. So I had to go through and cut them, and my heart's breaking because I'm seeing this beauty, and I'm just supposed to put them in this huge pile and burn them. So I went to the effort. Then I heard from, said, Baba Siri Chand, Yogi Bhajan, everybody, what am I supposed to do here? It's like gather up the flowers and give them away. So I made these huge bouquets, got buckets, which were all over the place because we carry a lot of dirt around in these huge buckets. Filled them with water. The Whole Foods gave me this special plant food that I could put in the water so the flowers would last. I mean, talking about really big buckets filled with water, then at least 100 flowers in each one. And they were so stunning. So I took them to different places. Just whoever came to my mind to give it to. I went to the gals at Advocates where I get really good care. And they're so kind. It's like the best mental health care I ever had. So they got a big bucket full of flour. I can't even tell you. Went to old folks' places, went all giving. So beauty, and also it was really, really a superpower. And I was like in an alternate reality because I had all this other stuff I was supposed to be doing and I couldn't do it, but that nothing bad happened. I just did what I was, the soul journey, which was like a big prayer, and it was super healing. But then what happened is I was supposed to actually be at a workshop at my church over the weekend, and it was a Vietnamese woman, great spiritual healer, and she had grown up in the Vietnam War. Talk about, you know, utterly village burned down. She had a lot of burns all over her body, and her whole workshop at the church, which I didn't get to go to, I just got there at the very, very end, which was like 10 at night, and was bringing dahlias. And she just said, the guru, she didn't use that word because she's a Buddhist and a Christian, but she said, God's work, our work on earth is to create beauty, to support, create beauty. And every moment of our life is beautiful. So that was great because I could bring a whole bunch of the flowers there. It was only for women's workshop. So that was like, it was like being in two different realities, like the normal reality of mundane work, and there's a lot of mundane work on farms. But then this incredible spiritual light and insight that was coming from these flowers and the earth there. And my boss, who I think he's really deeply spiritual, even though, he refuses to, he's not religious in any way. So then what happened? Yes. So then what happened was, so the message of the workshop was, it was only for women, is spiritual life is about beauty. And I know that the natives in who are the ones that have all the sheep, Navajo, it's a beauty way. So this is kind of ancient wisdom across cultures, and definitely with the Inca, and they actually roast dahlia bulbs and eat them. But their quest for making the earth and so beautiful through these, there's got to be hundreds and hundreds of different species that they've created of these flowers, of the dahlias, many, many, many varieties, I should say. So it was a total synchronicity between the work I was doing, which was kind of mundane, except it's very spiritual and beautiful and all about beauty. So then the next part is this gal who came from Vietnam, lived through that horrendous war, devotes her life to beauty. So I'm just going to just show you, she made all these crowns for us. And I'm just going to, so you can see it. I don't think you're going to see it, but I was wearing it just so, she said, and I was drawn to this one. She said, you're going to know which crown is for you. And it's kind of like a turban, but it's not a turban. It's the Vietnamese version of a turban, but it's covered with gems. And she's, the one I picked was authority. And then she had prayer time with each, or meditation time with each woman, and so she talked to me, said, your job now, if you pick this, it picked you, is to authorize. And that, from her perspective, it was take authority and make beauty happen. Just say, this horrendous war situation or conflict at work or self-destruction or drug addiction, authorize its transformation into beauty. So I still had many more dahlias to give away the next day, so luckily we have found other, started taking them to stores and workers, trying to focus on people who weren't maybe feeling that great. And it was just an all really alternative reality in everyday life. Although it
Good.
looked everyday life, but that's what I learned.
Okay.
And
Thank you, dear.
thanks for your patience.
Okay, so now I'm going to tell you from Baba Siri Chand about next week. So we're having the recording, Japa Saraswati.
Yeah, yes, you would like me to send the recording to everybody after this?
Yes, please, because
Okay.
it's very important
Thank you.
that all of us over this week, we will have total love to use our tool, which is changing. This is it. So please, excuse me, to do this through your whole week. And stay with Baba Siri Chand to continue love from black to love and light, to understand that, to do that, to understand that. Because what we have, we may have black somewhere over there. So please understand what's happening. Okay, and that's what we're going to talk about next week. You got that?
Okay.
Got it.
Great, thank you.
Okay. And Angel,
That's Jagat Guru.
yes, if you would like to be part of us, we would love that. And that was very interesting that you were talking about mucus as well with your sinus.
Mhm.
Okay. So God bless you all, and we will learn and hone our tool, which is love.
Mhm.
You all. Okay, so inhale. Exhale. And Ved, can you lead our song?
Sure, I just have someone that's like mowing, but that's okay. I just felt like it would be distracting because I have someone that's kind of mowing right here. Can you hear it?
Nope.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Inhale to begin. May the sun shine upon
you.
all
Around you.
and the
Light within you.
guide
Your
way.
guide
Your way.
guide
your
Inhale. Bless you all.
Love you.
Bless you. Thank you.
Love you, love you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone. Mwah.